Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving headfirst into the murky, often horrifying world of Eighth Amendment violations in Florida's prisons. Now I know what you might be thinking. John, this is supposed to be informative, not a descent into Dante's fiery hellscape. And you'd be right usually. But the unfortunate truth is, for many incarcerated individuals in Florida, the line between the two can get awfully blurry. The Eighth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects against cruel and unusual punishment. And yet far too often we see reports of inhumane conditions, inadequate medical care, and excessive force being used within the walls of Florida's correctional facilities. This video is not about pointing fingers or demonizing a system. It's about equipping those who may be experiencing these injustices, or their loved ones, with the tools and knowledge to fight back. Look, I cannot stress this enough. When it comes to fighting back against any form of abuse or neglect, documentation is your best weapon. It's like trying to argue with a toddler about who finished the cookies. You need proof. Gather everything you can. Medical records, photographs of injuries or unsanitary conditions, videos if possible, though I'll be honest, sneaking a GoPro into prison is probably ill-advised. You need witness statements, incident reports, anything and everything that supports your case. Remember, the burden of proof is on you, and the more evidence you have, the stronger your case becomes. This isn't just about winning a fight, it's about ensuring that these injustices are brought to light. So, you've gathered your evidence, now it's time to navigate the thrilling bureaucracy of the Florida Department of Corrections inmate grievance procedure. Yes, I know, it's about as exciting as watching paint dry in a silent room, but it's a crucial step. This formal complaint process allows you to raise your concerns within the system. Fill out those forms like your life depends on it because frankly, it might. Be detailed, be persistent, and make sure you keep copies of everything you submit and every response you receive. Think of it like that meticulous folder you kept in high school with every test, quiz, and graded homework assignment. Except instead of proving you deserved a B+, it might actually protect your basic human rights. Alright, let's say you've diligently climbed the Mount Everest of paperwork that is the internal grievance process, and surprise, surprise, nothing happened. Well, fear not, because it's time to bring in the big guns external oversight agencies. We're talking about the Florida Department of Corrections Inspector General, the Florida Commission on Offender Review, and the ever-reliable ACLU of Florida. These organizations have the power to investigate allegations of abuse and neglect within correctional facilities. Contact them, file complaints, and provide them with the mountain of evidence you've meticulously gathered. It's like calling in the Avengers. But instead of fighting Thanos, they're fighting for basic human rights, and that's arguably a more noble cause, don't you think? Okay, strap in folks, because things are about to get legally complicated. If the previous steps have failed to bring about justice, it's time to consider filing a federal civil rights lawsuit. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on TV, and even I know this is serious business. This is where having a good lawyer is like having a parachute when jumping out of a plane. It's probably a good idea. Drafting a complaint, navigating the court system, and arguing your case is not for the faint of heart. But remember, you have rights, and sometimes the only way to protect them is to fight for them in court. Listen, I'll level with you. Navigating the legal system alone is like trying to perform open-heart surgery on yourself, not recommended. Finding a good civil rights attorney can make all the difference. Organizations like the Florida Justice Institute, Southern Legal Counsel, and your local bar association can help connect you with legal superheroes who fight for justice on a daily basis. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. There are people who dedicate their lives to fighting for the rights of others, and they can be invaluable allies in your fight for justice. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I know it can seem overwhelming, but the most important thing to remember is that you are not alone. The fight for justice within the prison system is an uphill battle, but it's a fight worth fighting. By documenting violations, utilizing internal grievance procedures, reporting to oversight agencies, and seeking legal counsel, you can make a difference. Every voice raised against injustice chips away at the walls of silence and complacency. Never underestimate the power of speaking out, of demanding accountability, and of fighting for a more just and humane system for all.